Hello, fellow maggots. This is Howler filling in for St. Pam. She is under the weather right now, so I'm just trying to help her out. I'm going to be discussing the new game mode, Sanctuary Onslaught. The first thing to really note about it is a buggy, hot mess right now. There are innumerable problems going on with it. All kinds of crashes and glitches and bugs and all sorts of game-breaking features. So you got two levels of RNG here. You got the RNG you got to you got to get lucky on to get the items you want, and then you actually have to be able to complete the match. So hopefully that'll be fixed in the very near future. But right now it's more than a little frustrating. All of that said, the game mode itself is a lot of fun. I am going to be running it on Loki. I can contribute a little bit of crowd control there and just kind of mind my own business and help out as best I can. I like the Elite. It's a little more challenging, a little more interesting, but that said, the drop table is not so awesome for trying to farm the Warframe Korra. So if you're after Korra, you probably want to run it on normal. The basic idea is you're going through these various kind of quick tempoed scenarios where you have to kill as rapidly as possible to keep things up. There are kind of random conditions. Some Mars can mess with you if you spam your 4, for example. He may functionally tell you to knock it off, and disable your 4 for a little while. So basically the idea is that you're holding out, you're killing as quickly as possible, trying to maintain your efficiency. This one I've done a few times, so I know coming through the gate I'm going to lose pretty much all of my energy and be struggling to maintain it throughout the match. So trying to just dump it and get invisible and use my radial disarm out of the gate. Now, worth noting is that you don't seem to have a long, if any, window of invulnerability after zoning from zone to zone, so I like to land on the other side with a CC maneuver when I go through a gate. When I go through the next portal, I'll cast radial disarm right when I hit the ground and then go invisible. Basically anything to kind of get the initial wave of mobs under control. I have seen it where we've all basically gone through there and been very promptly murdered. That's no fun. I've gotten 3 Captura scenes from this so far, which is pretty cool. Super into Capturas. I do want to get Korra. She doesn't really seem like my style of gameplay, but I do want to get her because the gods of OCD will it. I must complete my collection. So a couple of things worth noting is this seems very comparable to me to the idea of the Greater Rifts, and Elite Sanctuary Onslaught specifically seems comparable to the Rift of the Week thing that they have in Diablo 3, where what they're going to do is basically have the same Greater Rift, and you'll play it and just try and beat the conditions. Well, the Greater Rift seems to be the same thing every time you do it. It doesn't vary. So that's cool. You can kind of learn that one, and if you're running with a consistent group of people, get better. If you're running with randos, not so much. This is an endless game mode. Things start getting pretty sparky after about the 10th wave, so I haven't had a pug make it much past 11th. That seems to be pretty much when it starts to hit the fan. There are a lot of disconnect bugs right now, so we got people crashing out. Like I said, you got the RNG on top of the RNG. You have to get a good group. Nobody can crash out. It's a hot mess right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But the mode itself, lots of fun. I really enjoy the kind of up-tempo combat. And we got the conduit materializing. How it do? We did aight. In we go. So this does seem to be a stab at some legitimate in-game content. They're going to have to iron the kinks out pretty quick. That said, they've been patching very aggressively. A lot of patches. I think we've had 3 or 4 since this came out yesterday morning. So we'll see what we see there. I mean, they do get the kinks ironed out. That's kind of seems to be how DE does, that they release it in something like a beta state, and then from there we get, we get the release a few days afterwards. Somebody got the first of the efficiency pastas. They got these little efficiency modules laying around here that help you keep your efficiency up. There are a lot fewer of them in the Elite. One of the things you can get through this is the First Curious mod, or Peculiar mod. There's one, it makes you shoot flowers out of enemies' wounds if you crit them. It does take the place of a useful mod, so to me, pretty much the place for that is just to go do a level 5 alert for Nitane and weird out the new players. That's pretty much the function. I understand the idea is that you're going to be showing off how badass and tough you are, but for me, it's going to be like, oh, okay, I'll just, make the new guys try and figure out why there's flowers shooting at everybody. It's kind of like hopping out on your operator in front of a, Mastery Rank 1 player. So, what is my overall opinion on this? I like it. It's a very good mode. I like it. It's a lot of fun. It is a stab. This and the Eidolons gives us something to work towards having more and more things to do at a higher level. Elite starts out around level 80, so I mean it's going to be pretty much a fight from the ground up. I mean, from the word go, you're going to be in a legit fight. You can mess around and get yourself killed pretty easily. There's going to be a meta around this, pretty hard. Pretty much CC and AoE are going to rule the day because you got to kill as fast as possible to keep your efficiency up. And once the difficulty starts ramping up, you can have a lot of dudes coming at you from a lot of different angles. So you can get overrun pretty quick. So some CC is pretty good to go. All that said, you will note I got a relic rewarded, and I don't know if you caught that or not, but it came out of the gate radiant. There's Samaras giving us a little bit of lore, talking about how, it's okay that he's committing this little war crime he's got going on here. He seems quite psychopathic. Always has, though. He's never exactly been a great guy. So, what do we got going on here? We have a Banshee Prime, a Zephyr Prime, and a Rhino Prime. So Rhino's got some crowd control. It's not a bad group mix. You will see a lot of Nova running around here. She seems to be coming out strong in the meta so far. I've seen a fair number of Equinoxes. I play Loki mostly because I'm very comfortable with him, and if the group has no CC and I happen to go in there, then I've got Irradiating Disarm, the mod or the augment that lets my Radial Disarm also act as an Orb of Confusion and make the enemies fight each other. So it's just a comfortable place for me to be. I will probably, in clan runs, do something, specific and more niche, fill an exact role. But when I don't know what to do and I don't know what's going on, I just jump on Loki. So he's my favorite frame, hands down. Another thing worth noting is they have brought back the, I believe, the Bratton and Lotto Vandals. I got a piece of the Lotto Vandal earlier today, so that's kind of cool. It was a beta release. They were beta weapons, and they're bringing them back. I don't know how the beta people feel about that, but, I guess their only real line in the, no BS line in the sand is on Excalibur Prime, so I'm just happy to get my weapons. They seem to be pretty rare, so you're going to have to grind your butt off to get them. I've probably done this about 15 times and got 2 parts for Korra, so the grind is real, and that's fine. This is a free-to-play game, and it is grindy. And we have our first victim. Ah, crap, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't make it, guys. Where are we at? I am using the Ninkandi, which is my favorite melee weapon, the nunchucks. If you ever get them, don't upgrade them into whatever one it is that follows after it. It's not as good. It doesn't have that sweet innate electrical damage. And there's highest status chance, I believe. So the Ninkandis are what's up if you're into the nunchucks. I have the Baza, which I have a decent ribbon for, and it's my Raifu, so I use that continuously. And I'm usually just tinkering around with my sidearms. I have the Zacti on right now. And I apologize if you hear the annual or the weekly emergency broadcast thing going on in the background. They have fired up their noon baby wakener, so that will also be the cue for my son to be waking up shortly. So yeah, what's the TLDR on this? It's really good. I like the mode. I think it's fun. It's high paced. I think it actually has staying power. I think if they update the rewards, that's going to be a big key. I would actually like to see them pull the Vandals after a couple of weeks. Maybe make things like that specific to the elite Onslaughts and have them have them change out. But that's me. I like to have special shiny stuff that's just mine. So your mileage may vary, but I would like to see them change. I mean, eventually I'm going to have both the Vandals, and unless I don't know, if they're tradable. Sound off below. I don't know if the parts are tradable. If they are, then that's got some value to it. Have not seen any of those components from the regular, but if they're elite only, they might have some plat value to them. I don't know. So yeah, I think it's a good mode. It is buggy as all get out right now. We've actually been having a pretty solid run as far as not having anything too crazy happen there. I'm on energy. Usually there's been at least one sort of dumb catastrophe per run. My personal favorite is when the portal doesn't spawn, the conduit, and you wind up standing there watching your efficiency tick down and not being able to do anything about it. What's one of my favorite things about this? I'm enjoying the Captura. I am super into getting the Radiant Relics out of the gate because it's going to increase my ability to make platinum, get ducats, and all those things I like to do. Which is kind of a guide St. Pam has asked me to do on how I make money and juggle the prime parts for ducats, plat, and all that stuff. I don't, I play fairly aggressively. Not everyone plays as aggressively as me, but I probably make about 500 plat a week without really trying. It's not hard. So I've got my crazy shouting infomercial guy scheme for how I do that. So I can put on my question mark suit and yell at you about making platinum easy with no initial investment, which is bullcrap. You do have to put in the work initially. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. I doubt you want to watch me do it for the next half an hour or however long we manage to make this last. With we're still at 99 efficiency on zone 5, so we might do aight. Usually it craps out around wave 10. Most people don't seem to make it past 10 or 11. So I appreciate you bearing with me. And yeah, that's going to be about it. It's definitely worth checking the mode out. That said, before you get too heavily invested in it, might wait till early to mid-week. Let them get the kinks out of it, because if you're easily frustrated, you are going to find right now there's a solid chance you're going to lose rewards, run into game-killing bugs, all that good stuff, whereas that probably won't be the case in a couple of days. DE, I love them to death, but they definitely run their beta tests on us, the first week of release. Why won't you die? So, oh, you know what? I do have another note. Don't come into the Elite expecting it to be super duper easy. It's not. You're going to need nice gear. See? I should have gone invisible, tried to get fancy, got myself killed. It's that easy. I'm on Loki, he's scooshy, and I messed around and got myself killed. And we're only on like wave 5 of the 10 or 11 we'll hopefully make it to. So I tried to pull off a fancy maneuver, and that 2 seconds of being squishy and visible was enough to get me killed. Lesson learned there. Just expect it to be what it is. If you can't perform at that level, that's cool. Get your gear, work on that, and play the regular one. You can still get most of the rewards. You can still get Korra, you can still get relics, Endo, if you're into Endo, which you probably aren't. You can't get the peculiar mod, the little floral arrangement thing, which, like I said, I don't know what I'd use that for other than I'm messing with new players. So, well, he down again. Alright, someone already revived him. Cool. So yeah, I give the mode itself an A. I reserve an A plus. Should it have revolving rewards or upgrading rewards? If 3 months from now I'm still just getting the exact same weapon parts I'm getting now, I'm probably gonna be less amused. If they update that, change that out, make it new and shiny periodically, then that will be awesome. It'll be an A plus. And I'm just using that designation because that's how Samaras designates me. Doing it to you because that's how it was done to me. But again, buggy. That's the game mode I rate very highly. The launch, not so much. It's awesomely buggy right now. It's triumphantly buggy. There have been some amazing problems, and they seem to be patching them out pretty quickly, but just don't go, please, for the love of all that's holy, don't go into the elite with a bunch of leveling weapons and, act surprised that it's a little harder content. The regular one's just fine, it's just as fun, it's a lot easier. And, as always, with anything, if you don't know what you're doing, please, don't bring limbo. So, thank you for your time, fellow Tenno Maggots, and have a great day. Oh, physics, no! Oh, he's been revived again, never mind. Have a good one.